The incomplete map of success and beauty, why the obvious is not the whole. There is a moment, usually subtle, sometimes quietly unsettling, when the world's scorekeeping system stops making sense. Nothing dramatic happens, no crisis, no collapse, just a small internal hesitation. You still understand the rules. You can trace their logic. You can explain them cleanly enough. Survival favored strength. Status brought protection. Resources mattered. Power mattered. Bodies mattered. Attraction mattered. These instincts weren't foolish. They were functional. They helped us endure when endurance was the question life kept asking. And yet, once you see them clearly, they no longer feel sufficient. Because something inside you notices the mismatch. We judge success as if money and power are its final form. We judge beauty as if physicality and sexuality are its deepest expression. We don't usually say this out loud, but we live as if it were true. And the confusion doesn't come from denial. You're not trying to erase these things. They belong. They carry real signals. They have weight. But they begin to feel like fragments elevated to conclusions. Parts mistaken for wholes. Like reading the map and forgetting it isn't the territory. These judgments persist because they are efficient. They're visible. They compress complexity into symbols that scale. A bank balance can be compared. A title can be ranked. A body can be appraised in a glance. Large societies run on what can be quickly recognized and widely agreed upon. Meaning does not cooperate with this system. A meaningful life reveals itself slowly. It doesn't announce its arrival. It accumulates quietly. In how someone bears responsibility, in how they treat others when no one is watching, in how they metabolize suffering without becoming smaller, in how they choose depth over performance, integrity over applause. These qualities resist spectacle. They don't trend, they can't be reliably monetized or displayed. So they're underweighted. What makes this especially strange is that most people already know this, privately. Ask them, away from the stage, what they truly admire. And the answers soften. They speak of steadiness, warmth, courage, humor, presence, thoughtfulness. They describe people who made them feel more human, not more impressed. There's a quiet split here, between the values we honor inwardly and the ones we reward publicly. Beauty suffers a similar reduction. The body matters. It always has. It always will. But when beauty collapses into physical appraisal alone, something essential is lost. Attraction gets mistaken for recognition. Desire gets confused with appreciation. There is beauty in how someone listens, in how they think, in how they carry grief without exporting it as bitterness, in how life has shaped them without hollowing them out. This kind of beauty doesn't grab. It invites. It doesn't demand attention. It rewards it. Perhaps the deeper realization is this. Societies don't optimize for meaning. They optimize for coordination. Shared proxies allow large systems to function, even when those proxies are crude approximations of what actually matters to a human soul. Meaning, by contrast, is intimate, contextual, earned slowly. It emerges through lived attention, not collective agreement. So the perplexity you feel may not be confusion at all. It may be clarity arriving without a crowd. The instincts still hum beneath the surface. The signals still operate. But once you see that they're partial, useful, but incomplete, you're no longer obligated to live as if they're final. Money can matter without defining worth. Power can exist without becoming purpose. Beauty can be honored without being flattened. And meaning, whatever it ultimately is, seems to ask something quieter, harder, and more personal. Not, how are you seen? But, how are you living? Not, what do you possess? But, what are you becoming? Not, do you measure up? But, are you inhabiting your life fully? The world may continue to reward its proxies, but you are no longer required to confuse them with the truth.